Hi, everyone. Welcome back to AI News. Today, we have a very special guest. He was here last time, and he's a Christian warrior. He's fighting for your kids in school board. His name is Marc Cooper. Can you introduce yourself a little bit to us, to our audience?
Yes, my name is Marc Cooper. I'm a school board member, trustee for Franklin McKinley School District, a little small district over on the other side of San Jose Unified. Not quite to Alum Rock, which has got a lot of news lately. But yeah, I'm on the school board. It's my third year. As you can see, I'm running for re-election, so I'm putting this up there. So if anybody wants to go, all the data that I'm going to share about our district and about just basic information is all up there on my website. So you can go to that website, and if you want to donate, that would be great too. But yeah, I'm on the school board, planning on running again. My wife is saying, "Why do you want to run again? You're getting beat up all the time. Every time the board votes on anything, it's always 4-1. You're always one vote no on the bad stuff and yes on the good stuff, and you're always the minority." But I got to keep fighting for the kids. I got to keep fighting for the kids' educate, the children's education, and parents' rights. So I'm determined to go ahead. And my wife gave me permission, so it's okay. I'm gonna run again, and I'm running for re-election. I haven't publicly stated it, but everybody that knows me knows because I care so much about the children. I'm going to run again.
I think that's a very good mentality, even though we are in the minority, especially in Northern California. But you decided to keep fighting for kids because you think is important. Why do you think is important for Christians to still be in public school and still fighting for kids? A lot of parents just decide to get their kids out and homeschool them to protect their kids. What makes you still want to be in the fight?
This is my 22nd year teaching. I went by this morning to do an IEP at my high school. So 22 years in the public schools I've been teaching. And that's the reason I originally ran 3 years ago, was because I see the academic decline in especially the last 5 to 7 years, being worse and worse and worse. So the incoming 8th graders come into 9th grade, and they can't read, they can't write, their math skills are terrible. And then we expect them to be, just in a short while, be college ready to go on to colleges. And as a Christian, back to what you asked, well, we are salt and we are light. And reality is that I have a much younger wife. She's from Indonesia. She's in the process of getting her citizenship as well. She's excited, can't wait to become an American citizen. So I understand the whole immigration. I know it's a hard process, but if we were to have a child now, I would agree with most Christians, and I'd say, no, public schools are not okay for my child. I'm going to homeschool. So that would be my first option. Second option would be private Christian or charter school. And then the last choice, unfortunately, would be the public school, where God put me there 22 years, and I'm still in it, still in the fight. But it's because I have a heart for the kids. I'd say 15 to 20%, not even 20%, but 15% of Christian families can afford to or choose to homeschool or private school. But that leaves 80% or so, maybe more, of Christian families who just send their children to public schools. I mean, as a Christian, it'd be easy to say, well, I'm going to take care of my child and that's it. But no. What about all the rest of the children? What about the children that are being exposed to this foolishness that is being thrown at them, and the school boards control most of that happens? And also, do we turn our blind eye on the academics that they're not getting, so they're not going to be able to graduate and get the Tesla or the Google jobs? We're going to get the H-1B visas, people from China, people from India, people from everywhere else to come and get those high-paying jobs, which we should be training our children to do. So there's a lot of reasons, but as a Christian, I can't give up. I got to keep on fighting. And because of a teacher myself, 22 years, I've seen firsthand the nonsense they're bringing into our schools when they're throwing, and they have these pretty names, DEI, diversity, sounds great, equity. Everybody wants equity. Inclusion, of course, we want all that stuff. So they have all these pretty names for things that most people wouldn't disagree with. But then when you dig in and they're saying, well, but we have the oppressed and the oppressor. And now if you're Caucasian, you're the one of the oppressors. And let's start adding the Asians in, because you guys are mostly closer to white than you are to the people of color, which makes no sense. But it's really ridiculous what they're doing, and they're segregating us. And I get more complaints from African American grandmothers and mothers and Hispanic. The ethnic studies, for example. Now, we don't teach ethnic studies in the TK through 8th grade, but the high schools do. I'm hearing my son hates that class because they're teaching them to hate each other and to segregate from each other. But that's our public schools today. So I've got to run for a school board. I've got to be in there. If I'm only one voice, you know what? I'm a voice for you. There's still a good number of people who are going to elect me who still believe that we should be focused on reading, writing, basic math skills, science facts, real history, patriotism in our country. There's still a good number of people who have their children in public schools who will still vote for me, even though I get beat up and even though I might get called racist by my other board members, because I say, well, we can't segregate people. We have to, because of Brown versus the Board of Education 54, we have to integrate. We have to be together, not segregate, which is where we're heading big time right now.
As you said, in the school board, it's usually 4-1. There's like 4 liberal board member, and you're the only conservative voice. Not even conservative, like
common sense.
Yeah, just common sense.
Yeah. And then, what's your strategy going to the school board? Because a lot of Christians are very frustrated at the public education. There's no way we can change it. Their voice is so high, and they just keep pushing these gay agenda, LGBT and the DEI and all these Black Lives Matter, all kinds of things into our kids. And we can see the kids' mind change. We went to a meeting, and then those kids were like, we are for DEI, we're for Black Lives Matter. Okay, these people deserve better. But our education system is brainwashing our kids to do that. What's your plan to stop all kinds of nonsense?
It sounds like it's right now like we're losing the battle, but actually slowly but surely we're winning. Now, just a few years ago, we only had 3 or 4 board members, and that's in all of Santa Clara County, which is 31 different school districts, 31 different school districts in Santa Clara County. Now, then we have 3 or 4 school board members in different districts. Now, as of today, we have 7. So now, of course, we're all in different school districts. So, we're increasing little by little by little, and that's all we can do. But we can't give up, and we can't back down. So although I'm a minority, I'm listening. I go to as many school events and extra curricular activities as I can to listen to the parents, to communicate with the parents, to see what they want. Last year, we voted to close 3 schools. I voted no. I listened to the parents of those communities that said, no, these are our neighborhood schools. We walk our children to school. So I listened. So that's why I'm going to stay on the board, as I want to hear those parents. Not that I can do anything, but I can at least hear the conversations, and then I can report that back to our school board. Before I was on that board, nothing happens. They keep on rolling the same stuff over and over and over. And most parents, they don't know what's going on. They don't know what's happening on the school board, but the board makes all the decisions for the whole school district. So why do I stay in there? I have to. I got to represent the parents, the children. I've got to listen, and I've got to speak up. And you know what? I pray that it changes. Hopefully we get another school board candidate run for election next November, along with me. Of course, it's a fight. It's a battle. Money, yeah, I need money, because who's going to endorse all the other candidates going to keep on running? The teachers union. They get footpath. They get people out there to campaign for them. They spend lots of money. They put signs in the cars in the parking lot. So when children are brought to school, they see these signs in the teacher's windshield and they think, oh, that's who I should vote for. See, it's an uphill battle, but Jericho was an uphill battle too. But march 7 times around, right? And then when it's all over, just shout and it'll come down. So can we believe in miracles? I do. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm trying.
Thank you. I think that's a very important mentality for all Californian, especially if you live in the North Cal area. There is someone that's speaking for your kids. There's someone that's speaking for your value, your integrity.
Right now, it's kind of a good place in time. We have this window of grace. We have the president we have in, and now the administration. If there's something that happens in my district that is not okay, I can contact administration now who will listen and who will do something about it. It wasn't that way with our last president. It was not that way. But now we have an administration that is going to listen to us. And for instance, last year, we voted on, for Black students only, during school hours, club or organization, but they were going to discriminate against every other ethnicity. And I said, we can't do that. That's illegal. That's Brown versus Board of Education. And so I made the objection, we can't do it. And all of this is on my website. You can go and see, I have all this stuff, so you can actually go and see the records. But I said, no, you can't do that. That's illegal. That's discrimination. You're discriminating against, you're saying Asian or white or Hispanic or other ethnicities don't have academic problems or that they need more support. It's only the African American or the Blacks only. I said, that's discrimination. But you know what? They voted for it anyway. It's 4 against my 1. So I contacted Frank Chu. You may have heard of his organization. I think it's CFR. But anyway, I contacted them. I said, and he said, yes, our lawyers will represent you, but can you find somebody at the school who was affected by it or was a more or less victim or what they call it? And I said, well, I don't know, but that's just illegal. You can't do that. So right now we're in limbo on that. I got to find a person that was affected by that. But there again, if I wasn't on the school board and I didn't hear that, who would know about it? So it's good that we, like Linda Chavez in Alum Rock right now, she found out about all this misappropriations of funds of their district was doing. And she raised the red flag as the school board president. And they talked about they end up firing their superintendent, their interim superintendent, because of all the fiscal mismanagement of monies. Again, who would have done anything but Linda Chavez, the Christian, the conservative, the common sense school board member, if she wasn't there? So we got to be in the game. If we're not in the game, they'll just keep on. It'll keep on sliding and get worse and worse and worse, and we will not have a voice.
Yes. Perfect mentality for any Christians to have. Think about all the apostles in the book of Acts. They are under nonstop harass by people that's anti-Christians, but they still spread the gospel and they get people saved. They didn't give up. I think that's the mentality for any parents to have in California. And there's someone that's fighting for you, there's someone that's speaking out for you, for your kids.
You know what's really interesting, and I appreciate you, is people say, and I hear this at my church, I hear this from a lot of people I talk to, oh, it's not my school district. But these 7 out of 31 school board members, they might not be in your school district, but we've got to stand up for me, for others. We can't do this by ourselves. We can't. In my school district, Franklin McKinley, we have 55% Hispanic. We have about 38% Vietnamese. Now, and then the rest is just others. So getting people to come to support us either at the board meetings or just like financially, it's hard when they're working 2 and 3, 4 jobs a piece, each one of them. But we have to help each other out. I don't care if you live in my school district or you live in this person's school district. We have to support each other.
All right. Thank you for coming to our show. It's an honor to have you on our show. Is there any last thing you want to encourage your voter in your district?
Like I said, my school district, we have 5,600 kids now. It's gone down the last 10 years. Now we're the lowest we've ever been. 5,600 students, including 4 charter schools. So we're a small district, but I need support from all of us. And make sure you reach out and support school board members in your district. Again, you can help out or go do research and see what I've told you is true. It's all there.
All right. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you.
Please go on this website and support this Christian warrior. He's speaking out for your kids, and he is speaking out in common sense. Okay, you might not be a Christian. You might not have the conservative value, but seriously, you care about family. You care about kids' health. You care about don't brainwash kids in those really, really bad thing that's happening in our state. It's a long battle. It's a hard battle. Like what he said, it's an uphill battle, but it's a necessary battle that we need to fight.
One last thing about what you're saying about common sense. We voted on, should we put tampons and Tampax in second grade, third grade boys' bathrooms? I mean, of course, that's common sense. No, you say, but Christian, no. So I voted no. Everybody else voted yes. But that's the kind of common sense stuff we're talking about. So wherever your faith background in it is, it doesn't matter. It's just about common sense issues.
All right. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.